is still alive. The baby.
Metroid Other M takes place right after the events of Super Metroid. Samus has been having flashbacks to what happened at the end of the Mother Brain fight, where the baby Metroid from Metroid 2 protected Samus from dying and gave her the Hyper Beam. Samus seems to have grown quite attached to that baby Metroid, metaphorically, not physically. In fact, throughout the game, it seems that she's quite attached to a lot of people and seems to have a fondness for the cute and cuddly creatures. She also has flashbacks to when she was in the Galactic Army. She apparently saw her commanding officer as a father figure, like the mentor she always wanted. This is starting to remind me of Scrubs, and Samus is like JD. And sadly, that's actually kind of a good analogy. See, Samus is no longer the smart, sharp, badass woman of few words we've all come to know and love. Now, she's a whiny, daydreaming, do-whatever Dr. Cox, or Adam, wants when he wants it. This is a side of Samus that we haven't seen in any other Metroid game. The reason we never saw it before is because that it's horribly stupid. The story and voice acting are on the same level as a fucking daytime soap opera. This game is Samus at her worst.
My response was to become increasingly bitter.
Well, even if the story is god-awful, the gameplay has to be good, right? I mean, this is a Metroid game after all, and the series is known for solid controls, great level design, and great music. They couldn't possibly screw that up after all this time, right? Wrong. The textures look like they were just copy and pasted from Metroid Prime 1, the level layout is linear with very little exploration to be had, and the music is the worst in the series' history. The controls are also the worst in the series' history. The view you get is third person with the option to go into first person by pointing the Wiimote at the TV. You control the game in third person by holding the Wiimote horizontally. Way back in the days of the Nintendo 64, Nintendo figured out that controlling in a 3D environment does not work well with the D-pad. 14 years later, they decide to forget that very thing they pioneered and make us use the D-pad. But then you might say, well, why not just use the nunchuck? It has an analog stick. Well, Nintendo has no intention of giving you choice or making decisions that are logical, and therefore decided that you cannot use the nunchuck, despite the fact that the controls would be a lot better if you could. And this poses yet another control issue, not having enough buttons for all the functions. While the D-pad is used for moving, it's also used for the quick dodge. This raised the issue of having to be standing still in order to dodge, which makes no sense by any standards. Also, when you're in first-person mode, you can't move at all. So if you need to dodge while in first-person mode, you have to point the Wiimote away from the TV and then press the D-pad at the right time, which gets annoying since there's a delay between switching views. And to shoot missiles at all, you have to be in first-person mode. And you also have to lock onto a certain spot on the enemy. So not only can you not move when firing missiles, you also can't fire them quickly enough. Well, to the game's credit, they did make wall jumping easier. Now you just have to hold the D-pad towards the wall you're jumping to, then press the jump button when you touch the wall until you're at the top. Yay. Another huge annoyance is how you receive your power-ups. Gone are the days where you search the planet or spaceship you're on looking for a shiny new toy. No, now you have to wait until Adam gives you permission to use the stuff you already have. What the hell? In the end, while the graphics are decent, everything else about this game is complete garbage. The controls are terrible, the story is a sick joke, and Samus has become a whining emo brat. This game is, hands down, the worst Metroid game in the history of the series. And that's including Metroid Prime Hunters. This game gets a 2 out of 10 from me. Avoid this game like the plague.